Well, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bobbie and this is Bobbie Reads Tarot. And you guys, it's Friday, so that means it's time for another weekend prediction video. It's been a week. It's been very chaotic. I feel like I say that every week. It just never seems to stop, does it? As always, my readings are for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, form your own opinion, and please be kind to one another in the comment section down below. How are you guys all doing today? I hope that you're doing well. Let's see. I'm just going to shuffle some of these keyword cards out first, and then we're going to go from there. How does that sound? What plans do you guys have for this weekend? I am holding, oh my gosh, you guys. Tomorrow is my workshop. Tomorrow, the 28th of February, tomorrow, Saturday, February 28th, is the Money Mindset Reset workshop where I teach you everything you need to know about manifestation. It is a manifestation master class, you guys. I teach you how to identify your limiting beliefs, how to get rid of them. I teach you how to learn to receive and to no longer block what you're trying to manifest. I teach you how to increase the speed at which you manifest. For those of you who don't know, I have manifested a car, a free car, a home, a beautiful home, an amazing relationship. So if you're interested in learning everything you need to know about manifestation, then check out that course. It is on my website. My website is bobbiereads.com. Okay, you guys. So what are you doing this weekend? Tell me in the comment section down below. I want to hear what you guys are doing. Look at all of this energy, you guys. I think that this is probably enough. Otherwise, this reading is going to be super, super long. So something interesting I want to point out is that we had Japan in our weekly reading. We also had Iran. We also had financial institution, you guys. So these are coming back up, these same themes. Now, when we were looking at financial institution in here, we have crypto. I feel like we are coming up on a financial situation that is not going to be the best thing, and it's going to be tied around crypto. I'm very concerned that there's some kind of a scam or people are going to lose money. So, I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure that you are getting advice from a trusted advisor, someone who is, certified and that kind of thing. But just be very, very careful with your investments, especially if they are around crypto, okay? And I'm almost wondering if some of this isn't around these entrepreneurs, these social media tycoons. We've got Elon Musk. We've got what's his name? I can see his face, Mark Zuckerberg, who actually just had to testify before Congress about children becoming addicted to social media. So let's pull some cards here to see what we can get for crypto and financial institution. We're going to start here. So let's see, Spirit, what can you help us to know or understand about what's coming with crypto and financial institution? Okay, we have medical emergency. We've had medical emergency pop up a few times. I don't know if that's resonating with this. Let's keep going. This could be someone in banking or someone in the crypto industry having some kind of a medical emergency. Let's see what else we've got. See if we can get a better read on this energy. We have secluded area. You guys, I'm wondering if there's going to be something that happens with someone who's in crypto. I keep the thought that keeps coming back is that guy that Trump pardoned, who was a crypto guy who was in jail for some pretty bad stuff, if I remember correctly. And he was pardoned. And then when he was questioned about it, Trump was like, well, I don't know who he is. They asked me to do it. I'm wondering if there's something going on there. All right, Spirit. Pattern repetition. I'm going to switch over to tarot because this is being a little difficult, huh? Crypto financial institution. Secluded area, something that we don't see. Pattern repetition. We've seen it before. It's happening again. Pattern repetition to me feels something like the energy of, the stock market crash or the housing crisis of 2008. Something happening again. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have the King of Wands reversed. This is tyrant energy, but it's also the energy of having a time restriction, a limited amount of time. This is really making me wonder if there's someone who's going to have some kind of a medical situation. The challenge is the Chariot, forward movement, things going quickly, moving very quickly. The energy this is coming from is the Seven of Wands reversed. The Seven of Wands reversed is being very indecisive, but it can be a card of being vulnerable or even doubting your purpose. So this could be some vulnerability. I'm wondering if someone is going to have some kind of a medical crisis and they're in a secluded area where maybe they're not going to be able to get treatment. Let's keep going. This is confusing me. The energy of where this is headed. Look at all of the wands. Other than the Chariot card, we have wands. We have the King of Wands reversed, the Seven of Wands reversed, and the Three of Wands reversed. The Three of Wands reversed is making a hasty decision. It's not thinking things through. It can also be negligence, careless mistakes, setbacks. There's the medical emergency. This could just be like the financial institutions needing life support, needing an infusion. I'm wondering if this is indicating some kind of a stock market crash where it's going to need some kind of resuscitation. Pattern repetition would be the energy of it happening every so many years. Okay, so this is kind of making a little bit more sense now. Secluded area, what we don't see. The overarching theme or destiny for this situation, look at that, the Ace of Pentacles reversed. This is money not being there. Money going away, not having money, losing money. The underlying energy or what we don't see coming is the Four of Swords. This is being forced into a timeout. It's also recovery though. So here's one of the things that I want to say about what's coming up. So we know that there's going to be some difficulties, some really big difficulties that we're going to have to go through. And it's not just here in the US, it's going to be worldwide. However, it's important to know that as we get through this, we're going through this so that we can have a reset. And we will recover, right? Everything is recoverable. So I want everyone to kind of keep things in perspective, right? We want to be ready for a rainy day because it can happen at any time, but we want to have ourselves in a position where we don't have to be stressed. We don't have to be standing in line at the bank or the grocery store if something happens. So what do? Make sure you have at least 2 weeks of food in your house, even if it's just canned goods, okay? Budget, get a couple of things every time you go to the grocery store. I know a lot of people are on a fixed income, so it's about doing what you can and building slowly. Also, make sure that you have cash on hand, small bills, things like that. Think of if everything were to go down, what would you need? Don't allow your gas tank to go down to empty. When you hit half tank, fill it back up and just work off half a tank. Things like that, okay? The energy of the situation is temperance. Yeah, it's about if you are tempered in what's coming, you're going to be fine. If you're prepared, if you know, if you're mentally prepared, like, okay, we're going to go through this time, but I'm going to be okay because I'm prepared for it. So I don't need to worry about people freaking out or what other people's situations are. I'm going to be okay. And so it's really important, you guys. I mean, think about things like, oh my gosh, like the stuff that I have like such random stuff, but I have like a little burner that if like the electricity's out, I can use it outside to cook. I have a solar generator. I have little like hand warmer. I mean, just like random things. Power banks, things like that. Okay. Just if things were to go down, what would you need? Toilet paper, right? Remember COVID and how terrible that was? So after COVID, I did a couple things. First, I installed bidets on the toilets. So if there was no toilet paper, we were fine because we had a bidet. But we stock up on toilet paper too because, we don't want to be in another COVID situation. The environment of this is the hanged man. It's being forced to just kind of wait. There's not going to be anything we can do about it, right? So instead of getting stressed out or worked up or fighting against it, it's like, okay, when it hits, this is a go with the flow. This is a take a deep breath. You're ready for this. This is why we look at tarot, right? We look at these early warning systems. And this is saying, hey, there's going to come a time where you're going to need to be tempered and balanced. You're going to be stuck kind of hanging out. The hopes or fears for the situation is that people will be able to hold on to their pentacles. People will be able to hold on to their money. People want financial stability. Final outcome for this situation is the Three of Pentacles. So there will eventually be cooperation and things will be worked out. Ann Tucker is a channel and she's amazing. I did a video here on my channel where I did kind of a reaction video to one of her videos. But she talks about an upcoming issue with the financial industry. But what the message that she has channeled is that everything will go down, everything will close, it'll look really scary, but it's just temporary and everything will come back. So don't stress. Like if you have, like money in the bank or things like that, like everything will eventually be okay. It just might be like a period of time where you don't have access to it. So just remember that, okay? Just let that, take a deep breath and know that we're all good. We're okay. People have gone through, think about the things that people have gone through in the world. And, think of what people are going through right now in Gaza. So we've got this, okay, my friends? All right, so I want to look at Iran, and I'm wondering if Secretary of Defense, I'm wondering if they're going to try to do something this weekend. And if we're going to see another signal gate or something with our lovely Secretary of Defense. Let's see what we have here. Okay, let's do, what do I want to do? I want to stick to tarot. And actually though, I don't want to use this tarot. I want to switch to my United States of Tarot. Now, if you guys are ever curious to know what cards I'm using, if you go to my website, which is bobbiereads.com, the same one I told you about earlier that the workshop's on, I have a page on my website that has all of the different decks that I use here on YouTube. So if you're ever curious to know what decks I'm using, go over there and check it out. Every single deck I use is posted, so if you don't see it, make sure you scroll all the way to the bottom because I put my newer decks down there, but I promise every single deck is there. Sometimes I get comments where people are like, Bobbie, it's not there. It is, I promise. Okay, let's see what's going on this weekend with Iran. I don't know. I think he needs to distract from that disastrous State of the Union and from what Kash Patel, this is Kash Patel. Okay, this is Kash Patel. So we're going to put this one over here because that's what that is. All right. Let's see what we can expect. Four of Cups reversed. This is boredom and dissatisfaction. This is being dissatisfied with the way that things are going, not liking it. Okay. This could be the energy of Trump, not being satisfied with how he's looking in the public. It could be him not being satisfied with what's going on between the US and Iran. They are having nuclear talks. There are, I believe, possibly even some continued nuclear talks happening this weekend, actually. The energy that this is coming from is the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands energy is very self-assured. It's a very self-assured energy. I'm wondering where this is coming from because I don't feel like this is the energy of the US or of Iran. It's because the card, the Queen of Wands, she's like a very down to earth, very natural energy. So I'm really curious as to who or what this is referring to. You know what I did? I hold on, you guys. I did these cards out of order. This should have been the challenge. So you know what? I'm going to put this back and I want to reshuffle because I dealt those out wrong. Bear with me. I'm sorry. But now that I realized I did that, the energy feels off. And the whole rest of the reading isn't going to feel right if I don't reshuffle. Sorry. This is one of my, you guys don't see me do this very often, but this is one of my little OCD things where if I miss deal the cards, I have to reshuffle. I have to reshuffle. Okay. But I don't have to do a whole big shuffle. Spirit, can you please help us to see what is going to happen this weekend with Iran and the Secretary of Defense? Okay, here we go. Ace of Cups. This is a card that has an offer. So someone's trying to make an offer. This to me feels like Iran saying, we're willing to do this, we're willing to do this, we're willing to do this, we're willing to do this. But they're not willing to do some of the unrealistic things that Trump is asking for. Like they are not going to completely get rid of their nuclear program because they have the right to utilize nuclear energy as long as it's not for making weapons. And in all honesty, they have the right to make nuclear weapons if they want to. They're a sovereign nation. You know, like I don't want Iran having nukes, okay? But why are we police? Like we have them. So what? We control? No, that's ridiculous. The energy of the challenge of the situation this weekend is the Hanged Man reversed. You guys, that's that martyr card again, and it keeps showing up. And we know that there's a bounty on Trump's head. We know that the U.S. wants to do a regime change in Iran. So, I mean, this could go either way. The other thing that this could be indicating is, you know, in the past, Soleimani, was that Qasem Soleimani? The Trump administration lured him in for talks, and that's how he was assassinated, from what I understand. So this could be the same thing. Someone in the military being assassinated, you know, being set up again, something like that. It's that energy. The energy that the situation is coming from is the World card. Look at the major arcana we have. The World card is all about completion. It's the end. You know, we're at the end of so many cycles, and now that we're moving forward, it's like we're moving into uncharted territory. It's almost like we've begun a cycle we've never seen before. And so it's very hard to determine what's coming next. But I feel like the old relationship, the old way that we did things with Iran, it's over now. Everything is shifting. And the other thing is this impacts the entire world. When we look at these situations, it's not just the US and Iran. It affects or impacts the entire world. The energy where this situation is going is the Four of Pentacles. So this is desperately trying to hold on to ground. This to me feels like the energy of both Iran and the US trying to hold their position, trying to hold strong. The overarching theme or destiny of the situation is the Princess of Wands reversed. Princess of Wands reversed is the energy of, it can be communication issues. This to me feels like another signal gate. This is some kind of a message being either sent on an unsecured channel or somehow being compromised or infiltrated. But there's going to be electronic communications where it's going to be, there's something that's not good that's going to occur. Now, the underlying energy, or what we don't see coming, is the Prince of Cups reversed. The Prince of Cups reversed is, it's being disappointed because an offer doesn't arrive. So I do not feel like the US and Iran will come to any nuclear agreement. And I'm almost wondering if this isn't the dissolution of talks, like something happening this weekend and them saying, nope, we're done. We're done negotiating. The energy of the situation is the Six of Swords. This is leaving. I feel like this could be them leaving. The other thing, you guys, I've been getting these predictions of Iran and there being an explosion off the coast. And when I see it, I see Florida, but it could be New York. But here we have a boat. Now, something interesting too is that there were just 4 US citizens killed by the Cuban Coast Guard. So I don't know if that's what I was picking up on, but I don't think so, because I'm specifically seeing explosion. But here's this boat again. This could be boats out in the water, the armada that Trump's got, building up that military presence outside of Iran. This is that energy. But this again is that, because this is at night, and I keep getting that they're going to be coming through at night and a boat is going to explode. And it's going to be really stealthy because it's going to be a boat that should be there, a boat that makes sense. It's not going to be some military boat or something that like screams this is an Iranian boat. It's going to be something that looks like it should be there. The environment of the situation is the Chariot reversed. This is a halt in plans, things slowing down. I wonder if there was some kind of attack or strikes planned for this weekend, but if maybe they've been postponed. That very well could be. The Chariot reverse is also the energy of not being successful. So it could be like trying to plan a strike, but it not being successful. Shooting a rocket, it being shot down. That kind of energy. Hopes or fears for the situation. Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is like a new opportunity, a new venture, starting a new page. But this doesn't feel super positive or hopeful because the Ace of Wands are often a stand-in as like men's genitalia. So oftentimes when we see men posturing up against each other, we see the Ace of Wands show up. And I feel like that's what this energy is. Final outcome for Iran and Secretary of Defense is the Five of Wands reversed. And this is deception and misinformation. So there's going to be deception and misinformation in regards to this situation. Okay, you guys. I don't know, man. My concern is that before Trump, because I do feel like Trump is, he's on his way out. I know I keep saying that. But I do feel as though he may get us into conflict before he leaves office. I do have some concerns that is something we are going to see him do, okay? Because I do think that we're going to have conflict, and I think he's the only one. I think if any replacement that would go in after him, they would probably try to diffuse the situations. Maybe not, but I think Trump is the one who will egg it on, and I just feel like before he's out, but again, we'll have to just wait and see what happens, and, remember, you guys, like I always say, our external world is a direct reflection of our internal thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So we determine what our experience is. So yes, the world is chaotic and there's a lot going on around us, but we do not have to allow it to have a negative impact on our life, right? It's important to be informed, to know what's going on, but then it's also important to protect your energy because you're a spiritual being having a human experience. Don't get distracted by all the theater that's happening right now. Don't lose sight of your spiritual journey. That needs to be the focus, the spiritual journey. Know what's going on, but then go do something else that's going to raise your vibration. Okay, Spirit, can you help me understand this FBI, please? Whoa. Okay, we have strategic move. I wonder if they're going to oust Patel. There's going to be a strategic move. Oh, they just fired 7 people that were part of Trump investigations. I think it was people that were involved in the documents case in Florida. We have shaping the future. What is happening right now in the administration is going to shape what we experience. It's going to shape our future experience. What else do we have? National defense. Him doing something that puts us at risk, puts our national defense at risk. So the FBI operates within the United States. The CIA operates outside of the United States. But this is something going on where the national defense could be at risk somehow. I'm wondering if we're going to see some kind of explosion, briefed in command. Other people are being brought into the loop because I feel as though they are slowly but surely trying to remove Patel. Disappointing results. Disappointing results. Let's get one more of these. Tyrannical leadership. Okay, let's get some tarot and see what we can about this situation with the FBI. What do you, whoa, 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords is about needing to use your logic and your reason over your emotions, not reacting from an emotional place, but reacting from a place of swords, reason, logic. Kash Patel gets very angry and he reacts from a very emotional place. So we're going to see him perhaps rage a little bit against these claims that have been made about him, with him using the jet, abusing the jet, going over to Europe to see the hockey team. 6 of Pentacles. This is an imbalance between give and take, what someone's receiving. Basically, Kash Patel is taking charity from the government in the form of the resources, him using all of the resources. The challenge of the situation is the 5 of Wands. There's deception and misinformation, and Kash Patel is the leader of it. He knows. You can look in his face, in his little beady eyes, and you can tell he's scared. He knows stuff, and he's scared, and he's in over his head. And I think we're going to see him. I mean, we already see him drink a lot. For entertainment purposes only. There could be more issues there with using substances to dull the anxiety that I'm sure he's under, because he knows where all the skeletons are buried, being the director of the FBI. He knows how bad it is. And I don't think he knew before he came in. I think he firmly believed all of that propaganda BS that he would spew on his podcast. The energy that he's coming from is the King of Pentacles reversed. So he looked at Trump, right? This is Trump energy. So he looked at Trump as King of Pentacles, this guy who is rich and successful and everything is gilded. He thinks he's so cool. He's anti-establishment and blah, blah, blah. But when he got in there, he saw that the King of Pentacles is something completely different. He saw the evil that Trump has allegedly inflicted on other people, and it turned everything upside down, and I don't think he can deal. I do not think he can emotionally deal with what he knows. The energy of where he's going, look at that, the 4 of Pentacles again. This is trying desperately to hold on. He doesn't want, it's crazy because he's terrified and he has anxiety and he's saying all this stuff, but he also does not want to let go of power. The little bit of power he has. He's addicted. It's a sickness with these people. The overarching theme or energy of the situation is the Hierophant. Government. That is government. That is institutions. It's the way that things have been done. It's the way that things are not being done. I'm almost wondering if we're going to see some people file some court cases, these people that have been terminated, where they're like, no, I'm fighting this termination. This to me feels like we're going to get the law involved in this situation. That's what I'm wondering, how many of these people are at the end of the day going to get their jobs back once this administration has eventually been removed. You know, I could see different Republican leadership even perhaps bringing back some of these people, because they know, right? Because they won't be beholden to the emperor with no clothes anymore once he's gone, of course. The underlying energy, or what we don't see coming, is the high priestess. You guys, this is truth. It says forward into light. This is secrets being revealed, truth being brought out. And the other thing about the High Priestess card is she's the card of intuition. And at this point, all of us, we know what's going on. We don't have to have every single detail to know what's going on. And this is the energy of people now know what's going on. They can't hide this anymore. The stuff that the FBI and the DOJ have been trying to hide. The energy of this situation is the Two of Pentacles. So Two of Pentacles is about decisions, balance, opportunities. Decisions need to be made. And Patel is he's a liability. And I do feel like there is a possibility that he will be one that's removed. I feel like if anyone was going to go, it would be Kash Patel before Kristi Noem and before Pam Bondi, because Kash Patel is fucking up on a major level. Excuse my language, but I mean, it's like, it's constant. It's between the girlfriend and the Olympics and, you know, like tweeting that suspects have been caught when they haven't. He's just a train wreck. And I feel like the Trump administration is over him. They're ready. They don't care. You know, they haven't wanted to get rid of anyone because they haven't wanted to say that they were wrong. But Patel is one, I think that they're getting to the point where they're like, forget it. The environment around him this weekend, look at that, is the death card reversed. I'm not saying he will be terminated this weekend, but man, the energy is right for it. So if he was going to be let go, the energy is right there. The hopes or fears, look at that. The Eight of Swords. This is being confined, restricted. The hope is that Kash Patel pays for his crimes. He's perjured himself, probably among other things. I would say, has been obstruction of justice and probably many other things as well. Final outcome for Kash Patel for this weekend. There's that Temperance card, though. It could be tempered. It could be tempered where we don't see a reaction. It really could take more time. That I do not understand why they're holding on. I do, I guess. They don't want to look like they've made bad hires, but they're willing to like let everything burn down to the ground instead of just saying, yeah, this guy's a doofus and we made a mistake and, you know, we need to let him go. But that's like that pride and the ego, not allowing people to see clearly. Okay. This child singer, you guys, is just feeling so much to me. And Princess too is feeling very much like it's child energy. And I'm feeling like this is a story that we're going to hear come out of the Epstein files. I don't know. The energy I'm getting is really, really strongly. And I'm trying to decide what cards I want to use. I think I'm going to start with the Whispers of the Unsolved. Spirit, can you give me some clarity into this princess and child singer? I just feel like we're going to hear some kind of an account, and I feel like it's going to be really disturbing is what I'm feeling. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Communication. It's a mirage. It was meant to look like something, but it ends up being something else. I'm wondering if this is about Fergie, you guys. Princess Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, sent an email to Jeffrey Epstein presenting her goddaughter to him. Was that goddaughter perhaps a singer, a child singer, or is that child singing? Doesn't have to actually be singing. It could just be really spilling the beans, speaking out on something. We have science experiment, which is really disturbing because we know that Jeffrey Epstein was wanting to essentially create this like race of superhumans with his DNA. And we know that these people were essentially experimented on. There are lots of stories of people waking up in a laboratory where they're having doctors conduct medical experiments on them. And I think that some people didn't survive this life insurance. This is people people losing their life. And I'm almost wondering if for some of these victims, if there were either life insurance policies taken out on them, not a lot of them, okay? I don't feel like it was like the practice, but I'm wondering, because what this feels like to me is someone who took a life insurance policy out on their child and it got paid out, but there's something suspicious. And it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be dug into. It's going to be the life insurance policy is what's going to look wonky. And so it's going to cause people to dive into it, to like dig in a little bit more. And I'm really curious to know if that isn't going to flag something. Because a lot of the parents involved in this ring submitted their own children, which to me, as a mother, I don't understand it, you guys. And we're looking at all these famous people and we're seeing all the emails where they bring their children, Howard Lutnick and Sarah Ferguson and many, many other people brought their children. And I don't know how you do it. Okay, we have weapon. Look at this. We have fired. Fired is typically a reference to Donald Trump. You know, you're fired, whatever. Weapon, a weapon being found, a weapon being used. I'm wondering if the search out in the ranch is going to produce perhaps some weapons, if they're finding anything out there. We have celebrity. Of course, there were so many celebrities involved in this situation. We have debt. Oh my gosh, you guys. So this was like such a blackmail ring and people were paying money. So I just finished this book about the Bohemian Grove. It's a book by Mike Dice, and I think it's just called like Bohemian Grove Fact or Fiction. I'll try to remember to put the link in the description box, but that book is crazy. So it talks about how there was a boy, and I actually ordered the book, so I'm going to read it. So there was a senator in 1984 that wrote a book. I'll get the links and stuff to show you guys. But anyway, there was a boy who came forward in 1984 who was claimed to be a victim of abuse at Bohemian Grove. He claimed to have been assaulted. He claims to have seen children be killed, and people were paying, according to him, $100,000 to make certain films showing terrible life-ending material. I think people were blackmailed. They owed debts. People did things. It's just terrible. But you know what? It's all outside now. It's all coming out in the open. And I wonder if there's going to be treason because, people were exchanging all kinds of information. Look at what's going on with former Prince Andrew sharing information. I'm thinking we're going to see people brought up on charges of treason. I wonder if Fergie is going to be someone we're going to see. I don't know if they have treason over there, but things are hidden, missing. But all of this is necessary. All of this has to come out in the open. It's all part of this shift. It's all part of the energy changing. It's part of the old system going down and the new system that will emerge. But this is no longer working. It's not. Okay, you guys. So we have quite a few more cards. We have female athlete, we have Japan, Europe, educator, institution, and we have North Korea. So I'm going to leave educator, educational institution over here, okay? And female athlete. Those are just going to be headlines that we know could be things that pop up this week. I'm wondering if educator, educational institution is going to have something to do with people being involved with Epstein as well. Okay, I want to get the energy for Europe, Japan, and North Korea. So I'd like to get 2 cards for each of these. Okay, so 2 cards for Europe. 1 more card, please, Spirit. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to take the first one. Okay, 2 cards for Japan, please, Spirit. And 2 cards for North Korea. Woo. Uh-oh, I threw it. Threw it on the ground. And then I flipped it away from me. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Ooh, North Korea. Kim Jong-un is going to have some kind of victory. Okay, I don't know what this is going to be. If this is something with a negotiation, if this is the development of a weapon, but there's something that's going to happen with North Korea, specifically with King of Cups reversed, who I feel like this is Kim Jong-un. So we have to watch out for that. He's going to have some victory. When it comes to Japan is off balance. They're defending themselves for something. Something is out of balance, and they are needing to be very defensive to stand their ground. Okay? And let's look at Europe. Europe has the Hierophant. This is government. This is institution. I feel like this is around the monarchy, wanting to hold on to the old institutions, but people are watching this and people are looking at what's going on. And I feel like I don't get the feeling that that King Charles has partaken in these activities. I do feel like he knows about them, but I don't feel like he's involved himself in it. But I do think that enough other people have that this could be something that could be a serious threat to the monarchy. So we'll have to just sit back and sit tight and see how this whole thing, plays out. But they're not messing around over there. Mendelssohn was arrested, and I think we're going to see more arrests. So keep your eyes peeled this weekend for what else might happen. All right. Are you guys sick of reading about Epstein? I am sick of reading about Epstein. Between Trump and Epstein, I will be so happy when all of this is over. I hope to never have to read on Trump or Epstein again, you guys. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to switch the energy of this reading, aren't we? And what I want to do is I want to know, now that we've gone through that stuff and we know what's coming this weekend, what message does Spirit have for us that we should know? What message does... Oh, that one came right out, you guys. Look at that. Energy rising, vitality, confidence, power, decisiveness. This says the sun is a symbol of life force, power, and vitality. And this is a card with positive, confident, decisive energy. It invites these qualities to rise within you and brings a message of clarity, decisiveness, and forward movement. Is there a decision you're looking to make? How are you being called to step forth with confidence? Stonehenge, a famous prehistoric stone circle in the UK, is exquisitely aligned with the majestic dance of the sun on the solstices. The heel stone, a solitary stone of significance, is a marker of this sacred celestial movement. If you stand at the heart of Stonehenge at sunrise on the summer solstice, you'll see the sun ascend precisely above the heelstone, a sight that never fails to fill the heart with awe, vitality, confidence, and power. Beyond marking the longest and shortest days, Stonehenge serves as a stone tapestry of the solar year. It's possible that it was aligned with certain phases of the moon and perhaps even with the rare and mystical eclipses, a testament to the profound understanding of the heavens possessed by our ancient ancestors. Have you been considering whether to move forward or go ahead with a plan? It could be taking a trip, starting a business, going out on a date, giving a new relationship a go, changing jobs, trying something new, or putting yourself out there in some other way. Whatever direction you're being called in, this is the card of decision and stepping forth with confidence. It's time and you're ready. Call in the energy of the sun and the stones and try something new today. And I just feel this energy. Maybe it's because I'm living in Arizona and it's starting to warm up where I live, but I'm just feeling the sun activation. I feel like spring is on the horizon, and even though things are very chaotic, we're moving into the sun energy and it feels very bright and very hopeful. Okay, you guys, if you are still with me and you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up on your way out. And if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's free and a fantastic way to help out my channel. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me while I flip cards, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.